Okay. Hey, everybody. I'll give some people some time to get in. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Looks like everyone's been chatting for a while. Let me go back through here, see if there's any questions. I can already see there's some people with some 570 codes when their transcript updated. So I'm sure I'll be talking about that a little bit tonight. We're at 67 people. Okay. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to do another live stream because we are expecting the Where's My Refund tool on the IRS.gov website to update tonight, well, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. It usually goes down about 3 a.m. or so. So between 3 and 6, there'll be an update. And all those people that saw the transcript update last night would see well, hopefully tomorrow, we'll see a Where's My Refund update with that same direct deposit date. I did mention that the deposit date for this next week coming up is a little bit later than it normally would be. It normally would be a Wednesday, but because of the holiday on Monday, it appears that the IRS is pushing everything back a day. So there is a slim possibility that the Where's My Refund update might update Sunday as opposed to Saturday, but we'll see what happens. Get some commercials going on my music here. So we'll see what happens with that. Transcripts will not update tonight. They're not gonna. The update that has occurred on the transcripts has already happened. That is, we've talked about this a lot. But if you're specifically if you're a transcript updater that has an 05 at the end of your cycle code, those transcript updates occur on Friday. All those updates have already happened today. So the next big transcript update will happen next Friday. So if you did not get an update on your transcripts and see an 846 code this week, you will have to wait another week, unfortunately. And now, as I said, I did go through the chat and I saw some people with the 570 code. That's a freeze code. I had some people reach out to me. They actually had the 571 release code appear later on today, and they got the 846. So it looks like a lot of these things that the returns are being reviewed for, if they're simple, they're doing it fairly quickly. So hopefully, if you have the 570 code that appeared today, you won't have it for too long. I don't know everyone's personal situation, so it really depends on what the freeze code was for. So, as we said, 2/24 was the deposit date that went through on the transcripts. So that's the deposit date we're going to be looking for when Where's My Refund opens up. Some of the people that have not had access to if you haven't had access to the transcript system and you've just been relying on Where's My Refund the past few weeks and you just keep seeing that message that your return's still processing, maybe it updated from the path message and then went away. Unfortunately, without the transcripts, there's no way to know for sure, but this overnight Where's My Refund update that's going to occur every week, including hopefully tomorrow morning. You may be in that first batch of updates. So this could be the update you're waiting for. If you didn't see the update in the morning, it's likely going to be the following week. So, like I said, there's going to be major updates every week. We'll see how these streams go, and maybe we'll do weekly streams for the big batch updates that occur every week. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about some of these codes on the transcripts. We talked about this last night on the stream. I'm sure people are going to have some questions about these. The big question I saw a lot in a lot of the comments today was people would say they had the 846 and they saw other codes, but they were really worried that they weren't going to get their money. Listen, as long as you have the 846 on your transcript, whatever that amount is on that 846 line that says refund issued, it has the dollar amount and the date. That's going to be what you get, and that's going to be the date that it's scheduled for you to get it. I do see some people in the question asking if you can get it sooner. That's completely up to your bank. Whatever bank it's being deposited to, they have the option of posting deposits early once they get the money or the notification that they're getting the money. Some banks do an early deposit. However, we're going into a week that has a Monday holiday, so don't be surprised if you have to wait until the day of, or even if you have to wait until Tuesday or Wednesday. Just going back through some of these questions. Maybe I'll just go back to the very top of the chat. Looks like we had Michael was in first tonight. How you doing, Michael? Hopefully you're still here. Ashley says she was told that it's better to check for status updates closer to 8 a.m. How true is this? Okay, so as I said, Where's My Refund status updates, the system goes down about 3 a.m. and it can be down from 3 a.m. all the way up to 6 a.m. So I usually tell people to check around 6. But I've seen the status update. I've seen the system go down at 3 a.m. and then it's down for about 20 minutes and then it's back up again, and then that's when the update occurs. So it really depends on how quickly the technicians that are updating the systems can get all that information transferred. But the full update's usually done by 6 a.m. So if you wanted to be on the safe side, you could check at 6 a.m. I did have a brief thought that maybe I would do like a marathon stream tonight and just stay up till 6 a.m., but I'm exhausted, especially because I stayed up late last night, so I'm probably not going to do that. Latrice says she was accepted on the 27th. She called the IRS. They said there was nothing wrong, and she hasn't gotten a letter. The transcripts do still stay NA, and the only transcripts that are up are on the wage and the account transcripts. Yeah, so as long as there's NAs on any of those transcripts, your return is still processing. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means it's not fully processed yet. Once it moves into the final stage, that's when all the NAs should disappear and you should get a full update on those transcripts. JJ Johnson asks if they have a direct deposit date of 2/22. Could they receive tonight? I wouldn't. I have seen. I wouldn't expect it. I think if you would have gotten it sometime today, you would have already received it. So as I said, with the early deposits, it's completely up to your bank. But if you haven't received it at this point, I wouldn't expect it. Especially we're heading into a weekend, in a long weekend with a Monday holiday. So if you haven't gotten it at this point, you're probably not going to get it until the 22nd. Just to be realistic about it. I will say I was pretty surprised today. The transcript system was working relatively well. It got in pretty quickly this morning. How about you guys? Did you guys get in the transcripts okay? For those of you that had access to it?
Miguel says that he got his refund today. That's awesome. A lot of people saying they got some deposits pretty fast today. That's very good. Juan, if you have the 846 for the 24th, that's when you'll get the deposit. You won't get it later than that. That 37, there's a lot of spots on the transcript that is post dated. Those are in general codes that the system sets automatically. You go by, as far as when you're actually going to get the money, you go by the date on that 846 code. Mr. Bell says, I have an 846 code, but that was my stimulus. Yet the stimulus, any stimulus you received could possibly be on that transcript. So if there's a previous date from 2021 or whatever, that could be what that 846 code is. If it's a different date other than the 2022 date. So Juan, you said you had the 570 code and you got the 571 this morning with the 846 code as well. So you're good to go. So you got the release fairly quickly. So I know there's probably quite a few people that are going to be jealous of you. So yeah, I was saying I think it's I've seen a lot of 571s. People saying they had the 571 release code. Went pretty quick today. So usually you don't get it the same day that the transcript updates. Usually if you have a 570 code, you usually have to wait at least one update, like at least a week. So some people didn't have to wait that long. As I said, last year it seemed like the average wait for people was about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So if you got a 570 and then a 571 the same day with an 846 update today, that's really quick and surprisingly good luck for you, I guess. It must have been something simple. Some people said it was like an error in numbers they reported on whether it was the stimulus they received or child tax credit. So if it was something easy that the IRS system could easily fix, that's probably why. So refunds being sent out Monday through Thursday. Direct deposits go out Monday through Thursday, and then typically on Friday, if someone has a Friday date for a refund, that's usually when they send out paper checks. And as I said, traditionally we see the direct deposits for people that are weeklies that have the 05 cycle codes and cycle codes ending in 05. You would see those deposits on Wednesday. Next week's a little different with the holiday. Those deposits are going out on Thursday. Marcus, you asking me why I use TurboTax? If you're asking me, it's because it's run by Intuit, and I'm self-employed, and I use Intuit QuickBooks and stuff like that. And it's easy to transfer all that information to TurboTax, and everything I do track throughout the year. So it's all the same company. So everything is pretty much already done for me at tax time. So it's ease of use for me. A little bit of loyalty, I suppose. I've been using them for over 10 years at this point, too. Sergio, I received mine today, but it still shows as pending on the IRS website. I will tell you, last year, there was many people that had refunds given in their IRS website. The Where's My Refund website, it still hadn't updated yet. Yes, the IRS transcript system is working a lot better. As far as why people get 570 codes, there's a list of reasons you could see a 570 code, freeze code on your transcript. Could be underreported income, could be a credit you claimed, could be, a lot of, today I was seeing a lot of people with the stimulus payments. They were claiming, they accidentally claimed a stimulus payment they already received, so the system had to fix that. Sometimes people do itemized credits. Those are almost always held. Itemized deductions are almost always held and held for further review. There's a whole list of things that the system kicks returns over to the errors department for 570s for. It is important to distinguish a review from an audit. A review is not an audit. A manual review just means an actual person has to look at your return. An audit is a much deeper examination of your return and possibly previous year's returns as well. An audit is a lot longer of a process. So a review, while not ideal and could delay your refund, it's not nearly as horrifying as an audit could be. Yes, the Where's My Refund is going to hopefully update tonight for a lot of people. That message that people have been seeing, I've talked about this a lot, but the messages change over time. It's an automatic change that's programmed into the system. So after so long, a return, say your return has been sitting in the system, they can't guarantee that 21-day window anymore, and they change the message automatically. But that doesn't mean that your return itself isn't going to finish processing in the meantime, in which case, during that next big batch update, you could be lumped in with that update. Unfortunately, unless you have your transcript, access to the transcript, and look and see if you have an 846 date, there's no way to know for sure if you're going to update on Where's My Refund. That is to say that for a lot of people that are looking at their transcripts right now and seeing an 846 code, whenever the Where's My Refund happens to update, whether it's early Saturday morning or early Sunday morning, I'm thinking it's going to be Saturday morning because that's when typically it would update. The reason it wouldn't update tomorrow morning would be because of the holiday that's coming up on Monday and everything getting pushed back one day. But if it does update tomorrow, everyone that's seeing the 846 code on their transcript is going to see that 2 bars come back to Where's My Refund, and they'll see the same deposit date that is on their transcript. Unfortunately, if you don't have access to the transcript, you won't see that, so there's no way to know for sure. If you have NAs on your transcript at this point still, you're not going to see an update. That's, you're not going to get a deposit until you see that 846 code. So the transcript is always the most up-to-date information. That updates before Where's My Refund updates. So if the transcripts still haven't updated, the Where's My Refund is definitely not going to update. Yes, Anthony, audits do suck. The date beside the 570 code is like an automatic deadline the system sets. So on those transactions, there's a list of transactions at the bottom of the transcript, and you'll see the transaction, maybe there's an amount, and then you'll see a date on all those transactions. Those are all like internal deadlines that the system sets. So say you had a 570 code and then a date of March 7th. That's the system telling itself it has until March 7th to complete and resolve that 570 code. If it wasn't able to resolve itself, then they would just add a new date after that March 7th date and push it back another 2 weeks. But as I said, a lot of people today were seeing 571 release codes almost immediately. So just because it says like March 7th doesn't mean it's going to take that long. It could take a lot less time. However, depending on what the situation is and why the refund is being frozen, it could take longer. Mrs. Marie wants to know if filing early actually does anything. Are the returns done in the order of the IRS receiving them? Honestly, no, they're not done in the order of the IRS receiving them. When the return is accepted into the system, there's an initial check that's done, and then it's kicked into whichever batch of processing it needs to go to. So a lot of times if someone is an 05 cycle code, is assigned an 05 cycle code, that is going to get lumped in with all the other 05s, and then once a week, the system will process as many of those weekly 05 returns as it can. As far as the cycle codes that have other days, those would just go in the order they're received. So it's kind of an odd system, and it wouldn't seem like it makes sense to people, but in a lot of cases, it's an opportunity for the system to give itself time to process some of the more I don't want to call them complicated returns, but returns that might have a higher chance of having mistakes on them. And a lot of times, that's why people get assigned the 05 cycle code, because it gives the system more time to review it. And then even more time if it needs to be reviewed by an actual person. So they're not necessarily done in the order that they're received. In a lot of cases, people get their returns accepted and then you just get pushed to the back of the line. And then the next week comes up where they would have been getting processed, and they might get pushed to the back of the line again for some reason. The Credit Karma card should go through right on the 24th. If you have I'm seeing a few people asking about Credit Karma. I don't think they're going to deposit early. I know they only post on business days anyway, so they're not going to deposit. They're definitely not going to deposit. They won't deposit before Tuesday. I don't know for sure if Credit Karma does early posting, but I do know they only post on business days. So the earliest you would see it would be Tuesday. But I would expect that you're probably not going to get it until the actual 24th. That's for the Credit Karma, people that are using the Credit Karma spend account. Wow, Melissa B says her review she waited almost a year. It can take a very long time for a review. It really depends on what the situation is. Just in most situations, in most of the circumstances, a review would not take that long. That is an exceptionally long review, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's pretty crazy to wait almost a year. But in most cases, a review wouldn't take that long. And a lot of cases too, with the review, they could send you a letter saying they'll request stuff if they need it, and they typically don't. It usually resolves itself eventually. With an audit, they almost always want documentation. They want you to send as much documentation as possible with an audit, and you're sending stuff through the mail, waiting for them to receive it, waiting for them to send your stuff back through the mail. That's the stuff that makes audits take really long. Is you're relying on snail mail in a lot of cases. But a year for a review, that's crazy. Wow. Oof. So Brandon's asking what it means if the bars disappeared for like 2 or 3 days. So when the bars disappear, that happens after so long. Okay, so when your turn's accepted in the system and you log into Where's My Refund and you see like one bar and it says you'll read the message and it will say like, oh, if everything is okay, you'll receive your refund within 21 days. Automatically after so long of being in the system without your return being processed, it's pretty clear within the system that you're not going to get the refund within that 21-day window. So they just automatically take that message away. And they just don't want people bombarding them saying with phone calls and stuff like that. So there's things in the system that automatically occur. That's not necessarily a direct message to you, but rather an internal thing that occurs with the system itself. So after a few days, after so long, the bars might disappear, and then you'll see a message. For a lot of people with PATH, they got a message about the PATH Act. And then after so many days of being under the PATH Act, automatically that message goes away because now an even longer amount of time has passed. And then the PATH Act message goes away, and you might see your return is being processed. And then after a couple of days after that, you might see another message now that says your return is still being processed, or you might get, sorry, your refund is delayed message. Those are all automatic things that will occur within the system. And you could have that message one day, and the very next day, you could actually get an update and see that you have the bars come back. In which case, that's actually what we're hoping is going to happen tonight, that there's going to be a lot of people that have had that message for a week, 2 weeks. We're hoping that tomorrow morning when the Where's My Refund system opens, this is specifically for the people that can't check transcripts, because we know the people that can check transcripts and you have the 846, you're all set. But if you cannot check your transcripts, you're completely at the will of Where's My Refund to know when you're getting your refund. And unfortunately, that system is not always the most reliable. So you're really hoping for that refund update to happen tonight. So if you see a 570 code, that is a refund freeze. It's for a manual review. That's right. It's not an audit. If you see a 420 code on your transcript, that is the code you really don't want to see. That is an audit code. That one can take quite a while to resolve. So if you see a 420 code, I am very sorry. That's not a good code to have. Jim, no, a 570 is not an audit. It's a freeze for a manual review. And it could be fairly quickly, or it could be a while. We just had one person in the chat say it could be a while. She waited almost a year. It really depends on what the issue is. But there were a lot of people that had the freeze code almost instantly released today because it was something that the system could fairly easily fix itself. So it really depends on what the issue is, and that determines how long it will take. D, an 806 code is your withholding. That is the withholding from your W-2s. Those are credits that can apply to your account. That helps reduce the amount of tax liability. It's basically taxes that you've already paid throughout the year at your job. So every time you get withholding out of your check, all that money at the end of the year, that's on the transcript. That's that amount is the withholding from your paycheck. There's actually a video in my tax resources playlist about code 806. Nothing to worry about. That, like I said, that's basically money you've already paid to the IRS. You guys are welcome. as far as teaching you about the transcripts. I accidentally claimed a stimulus check that I had received, and now I have a 570 freeze code. Do you think it will be lifted next week? As long as that's all that the problem is, there was some people that had the same issue today that saw the 570 code hit earlier last week, and then this week it went away. So hopefully that will be the case for you, that it takes no more than a week. I can't say for sure because every individual person is different. All I can give you is a rough estimate based on the history of what's going on. Honey Boo Boo, if you had a 420 code, you would know it because it would be on your transcript. If you don't have access to your transcripts, then there's no way for you to know for sure. But if you looked on your account transcript, you would see a 420 code, return referred for audit. That's something like the wording, something like that on the transcript. Code 150 on the transcript, that just means that your return is now on file with the IRS. Nothing to worry about. That 150 line just confirms that the system, return is posted to the system for processing. Let's see, we're looking for some of these questions here. Hey, Thomas Caldwell, I appreciate pushing for the likes. OG Ray-Bans, what is the 572 code? That is another release code. So the 572 code would release whatever action a 570 code would have. So if you got the 570 code, the release code usually would be 571. So if you have a 572, that's also a release code though. Less common than the 571. Yes and no. If I got an 846 with 224, can I just forget where's my refund? Yes, you absolutely can, because that's the date you're gonna get. You're getting the deposit on the 24th. Where's my refund is honestly irrelevant at that point. But a lot of people want that reassurance. So when where's my refund finally updates, you will see that 224 date. The bars will come back, and you'll see that 224 date. That is provided everything's working functionally. We're relying on the government systems to be functional. Batman's here. What's up, Batman? Welcome back. He's got some jokes. Lifestyle Vlog Life wants to know where you go to see your transcripts. So you would log into, you go to the irs.gov website. You can just Google IRS get transcript, and the Google page should lead you right to the page where you can sign up for the account. If you don't have an IRS account or a realid.me account, you can create one. Take your time. Make sure you're putting all the information in properly. You don't want to get locked out of the system. And you would just go to the Get Transcript page, and you would go from there. You just follow all the prompts. It's once you actually sign up for the account, it's fairly straightforward. Hold on, guys. My cat's trying to escape. Oh, sorry about that. $766 credit to your account. Why negative 4K and negative 15? So credits are always a negative number. So if you see negative numbers on your transcripts, that is money that the IRS is crediting to your account. If you see positive numbers, that's amounts that the IRS is charging your account. So, for example, on the 150 line, you would see like a tax return filed, and you might see a dollar amount, and that's like the tax amount that's due for the year. And then the next line, you'd see the 806 with a negative amount, and that would be like your withholding from your work. That's a credit for money that you've already paid into the system. So that gets deducted from the tax amount. And then that 766, which is most commonly the child tax credit, but could also be other credits like additional child tax credit or stimulus payments in some case, recovery rebate. And then 768, if you have that, that's earned income credit. Those amounts would be deducted also on top of that, and then what's left over is another negative number, and that's your refund amount. Another easy way to tell is before the system updates, before that final 846 is added to your transcript, you would look at the account balance at the top left corner, and you would see a negative number there, and that's your refund amount in the account balance. Then once that 846 code hits at the bottom of the transcript, that account balance zeroes out because now the IRS has paid out that amount and zeroed out your account. And that paid out amount is going to be the refund you're getting direct deposited, or in some cases a check if you don't have direct deposit. But the negative numbers are always credits to your account. Well, once again, the NA on your transcript simply means that the return has not entered the final stage of processing yet. So you're just not quite there yet and ready for the final processing and refund. Simplest way to say it is NA just means you're not done yet, and you're not in that final stage. Harley, what are you doing? I don't know if you guys can see Harley in the back of my stairs. Let's see. Ina Espinoza wants to know what code the transcript would say if your taxes are being garnished, if any. There would be a code there. There's a couple different codes they use. Typically, it's like an offset code. I think 898 is one of them they use. It's just something that reduces your refund. It would be on the transcript. It would be described as like applied to. Could be an old debt. Could be an offset for some reason. But there's a couple different codes they use. I think 898 is one of the most common ones they use. But there would be a code on the transcript that would let you know that. I had someone ask me earlier because they were expecting an offset, and they had an 846 and they had their full refund. And I said, that means they didn't do the offset. They didn't catch it. Maybe it wasn't. Sometimes they don't catch it in time, or whatever the offset is supposed to be for didn't get reported to the IRS itself yet. Yes and no says don't spam. Where's my refund? We'll lock you out. Yes, I think the limit is 3 times in a 24-hour period now. If you try to check more than 3 times, that's going to lock you out. There's no need for it anyway. Where's my refund updates once a day. So, and that's usually done by 6 a.m. So, April, yes, the transcripts are done updating for tonight. So, what's done is done. If you have not gotten the update tonight, if you're an 05 updater, you're gonna have to wait for another week. If your cycle code ends in any other number, you may see an update on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. Otherwise, look for another update on Friday on transcripts. Fresh Prince wants to get a job at the IRS, release every 570 code, and then quit. You'd have to make sure you were in the right department. Just being one of those customer service reps would do you no good because they don't have that power. The updates, LaShonda, the updates start at 3 a.m. and they continue through whenever the system is, however long it takes the system to update. It can be 20 minutes or it can be 3 hours. So you'll see the Where's My Refund won't work. There'll be like some sort of error message, and then all of a sudden it will work again. And that's when you know the update has been complete. If you had an 05 cycle code last year, you were most likely going to be an 05 code again this year. There are some cases where they move people off of that weekly batch updating and go to a daily processor. But for the most part, once they assign someone an 05 cycle code, you're going to be an 05 cycle code for the next few years to follow at the very least. So plan on being an 05 cycle code again this year, if you were last year. Melody, no, you cannot check at 12 a.m. It will not update at 12 a.m. It's the system updates starts occurring at 3 a.m. for the Where's My Refund. Paul wants to know what a 290 code is. That's an adjustment to your account. It's used for a variety of things. It can be used to zero out your account balance. So it was used last year. It was used before the stimulus was issued to people. They would issue the stimulus checks with the refund issue code, and then they would use the 290 code to zero out the account, meaning your account was adjusted to a zero balance for the new tax season that was upcoming, because it was an odd situation where they were sending out stimulus checks in the middle of a tax year. So they used the 290 code to adjust your account to zero. It was also it can be used for amendments. So someone files an amended tax return. Now your account balance is all out of whack because of the amendment. And once the amended return is complete and processed, they use the 290 code to adjust your balance back to zero. So whatever adjustment was made based on your amendment, that 290 code would follow. So it's an adjustment code. Oh, April, thank you very much, and you're welcome. Jennifer, I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Corey Scott wants to know how you know what bank will post your refund early. Um, every bank is different, and the way you can tell is like, have you ever had a paycheck post early? That's the easiest way to tell. If you have my bank will usually post my paycheck a day early, so I know that sometimes when I get my IRS refund deposited to that bank, I'll get the IRS refund one day early because of the way my paycheck posts. Some banks do it and some banks don't. It's completely dependent on your bank and your own experience with them. Yes and no. I did get my 224 update today. Yeah, I did update with the rest of that first massive weekly batch update. I logged in. I said last night in the live stream I wasn't going to check until 6 a.m., but I woke up early. I woke up at like 4:45. I checked. I did not have an update. It was still the same as it was last week. I checked again a little after 5:30, and then the 846 code was there. Corey, on the 570 code where it says March 7th, 2022, that is an internal deadline date that the system automatically sets. It could be done before the March 7th. It could be done after if it's something more complicated. Those internal deadline dates typically don't mean much. It's also like the as of date. It's a date that the system can just automatically change on you. So you can't really gather much by those dates. Brandy, thank you, and you're welcome. Cheryl, you can either set up a me.id account, or if you have ever set up an IRS account, you can do that as well to get your transcript. Either way, just be really thorough and careful when you're going through the process, because you don't want to accidentally type in something and get yourself locked out of the system. Joseph, on the code 152, are you talking about on Where's My Refund, where it says tax topic 152? If that's what you're talking about, that's just a generic code. It just refers to the timing of refunds. It's a generic code that everyone sees on their Where's My Refund at some point. Not too much you can read into that on the Where's My Refund. I've been saying throughout the night there's a whole lot of things that are on refund on Where's My Refund that don't really help you out much because it's an unreliable system as it is. Yes and no, I do not have super chats. Do not set it up. Everyone's waiting to get their refund money. I'm not about to start asking them for money. Looking at, let's see, I just saw a comment I wanted to address here. Let me go back through here. Sorry, guys, I'm just a lot of comments I'm trying to get through here. I want to say it was Brandy. You had the 846. Okay, you're all set. That's good. Marie Harrison, you have a 286 code, and your transcript is showing a balance after the offset. Is the balance a positive number or a negative number? That's what I want to know. If the balance is negative, then that means the IRS owes you that amount of money. If it's positive, and the account balance is a positive number, they could be looking for you to pay that money. Amari Dixon is the EIC for low-income people only. Yes, earned income credit is a credit that is designed for lower-income individuals that make under a certain income threshold, and it was designed to help lift people out of poverty. Which, if they really wanted to do that, they would let people get that money throughout the year, but people have to wait until they get their tax return to get it. And does it delay your refund for processing? If you have because it falls under PATH Act. If you file in January, it delays your return and your refund. But once the PATH Act lifts, it doesn't delay anything. Claiming earned income credit. Fernando wants to know what could cause their refund to be adjusted. Any number of things. Maybe there's an arithmetic error on the return. Maybe there's a credit that was claimed that shouldn't have been. Maybe there was a dependent claim that shouldn't have been. Maybe there was an offset. Maybe a debt was owed. There's a bunch of different reasons that could cause a refund to be adjusted. I can't speak to anyone's specific situation because I don't know any of these people personally, but there's a list of reasons that they could adjust a refund. And if you dug into your situation and looked at different things you claimed, you might be able to figure it out. Miss T, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for those orange bars to come back. So no reason to be worried if the bars disappeared yet. Tonight's going to be the first big update where people are going to have those bars come back. So maybe you'll be lucky enough and be one of those people to see the bars come back on Where's My Refund. Okay, so Marie, you have the negative sign. That's a good sign. That means you're not going to owe them any money. They're going to owe you money. So you'll probably likely see a deposit date, the next big batch update, which would be next week. Okay, we definitely won't be this week. One week from today. Kat from CTR, my bank. My date is 2024 refund issue. How soon can it possibly post to the bank? Because the bank does early deposit. So I would probably suspect that the earliest day you would see it would be Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. If not, you'll get it on the 24th date. The IRS will begin updating at 3 a.m. The system will go down. It will hopefully be back up and running with people seeing the bars come back with 2 bars and a refund date at 6 a.m., those that have completed the process. Nikki Sway wants to know, if you didn't get all the stimulus, will they add it if you didn't claim it? They will not add it automatically if you didn't claim it. You have to claim it for them to add it to it. If you've already filed and you know that you're eligible for it, wait until you get your refund and then do an amendment and claim that recovery rebate credit. But don't ever file an amendment before you get your refund, because if you try to file an amended return before your refund is back, that can delay your current return. So always do everything after you get your money. Ashley Alvarado, your code is 2022-0505. You have no bars and no refund date. And your transcript didn't have an 846 code. If that's the case, you may see an update next week. I don't know if you can see your transcript or not, so I'm assuming you can if you know what your cycle code is. So if there was no 846 code this week and there was no hold codes, then look for the update next week. Not being able to verify your identity on ID.me does not delay anything with your refunds. It just locks you out of that particular system. It can be just a headache. All right. No ID. You asked 2 questions. Let me go back through all these comments and see if I can see what you asked, okay?
Technology has changed over the decades, and that's made music and audio more accessible than ever.
With Google, we have a design paradigm that we call adaptive UI, modeled after Google's material design.
Users' audio is available.
Okay, so no ID. I see one question you asked was, how do you access the 2021 transcript? There's all of the years, but 2021 is NA. So you can't access that year yet because your return is not done processing, okay? As long as it says NA, your return is still in that early processing stage. Until it gets to the final processing stage, you won't be able to access it. So that's just look for an update, hopefully sometime next week on next Friday. But you won't be able to access it before then, because as long as it's NA, you're still in that early processing stage. And you filed your taxes without a 1099. Is that going to mess up your refund? It depends on how off and how wrong you were in reporting your income. But it could, because that 1099 is furnished by whoever gave it to you. They also give it to the IRS. So if they see that information from whoever gave you the 1099 and you didn't report it, that could delay everything for you. Did I answer those questions for you? I hope I did. Ashley, no problem. Joseph, it is 21 calendar days, but it's 21 calendar days from the time that your return is entered into the system, not necessarily since it's 21 days from the time it's accepted. And what I mean by the system is, like, you get accepted, the system runs, the algorithm runs its checks, and then it pushes the return into the processing system. So if you want to think of it, it should be done from 21 days when your transcripts are available, if you want to look at it that way. 21 days from when the 150 code would appear on your transcript, because that's when the IRS considers it filed. So, Joseph, it's 21 calendar days, not business days, calendar days. But the 21-day refund period is kind of a farce, because it's almost always late now for everybody, or for most people. For some people, it's still within 21 days, but for many people, it's almost always delayed now. If you went through a preparer to file your taxes, will the entire refund go to him and then the rest to you? Are you paying them through your taxes? If that's the case, then yes. If you're paying them through your refund, then they would get they would get the refund, take whatever their fee is, and then the rest would get sent on to you. That's how that works. So that's dependent on if you paid them through with your refund, which a lot of services offer. But yes, they're the ones that get the refund, and then they pass the rest on to you. Dennis, the 846 on your transcript is the real deposit date. So if you have it, congratulations. That's the day you're getting your deposit. Joseph, if there's a delay message on your "Where's my refund?" it doesn't necessarily mean that there's an error that needs to be corrected. All it means is that your return has been sitting in the system for a certain length of time without being processed fully. That's all it means. It doesn't mean necessarily that there's anything wrong with your return. It's an automatic message that appears on the system. David Garcia, is the child tax credit money extra money on top of the refund total, or is the total refund already have the extra child tax credit money? Yes, your refund amount is the sum total of all your credits. So you have, if you wanted to look at it, if you looked at the transcript and you saw that first line where the 150 code is, there's a positive dollar amount. That is the tax due for the year. Then you'll see an 806 code if you have a W-2 job. That's all you're withholding for the year. That would be a negative number. That's a credit to your account. That's money that you've already paid. And then you'll have your 766 credits or 768 credits if you have that. Those are also credits to your account. Those are credits that are paid on your behalf. And then all that is subtracted from that first dollar amount, that positive dollar amount, and the remainder is your balance that gets to be the refund. So the child tax credit money is added with all the other credits. They subtract the tax due for the year. The balance is your refund. So your refund includes that money. It's not a separate payment. It's all together. I'm trying to differentiate the chat from people that are talking to each other and people that are asking me questions, guys. So I'm sorry if I'm missing questions here because there's a lot going on. And I don't have a moderator. It's just me. Nick wants to know, he has the H&R Block Emerald card. He wants to know if he'll get the deposit before the 24th because that's his date. I'm trying to remember if I've seen Emerald cards post soon. I've never used the H&R Block Emerald card. Maybe someone in the chat has. I don't know if you guys have ever used it in previous years and noticed if you've gotten an early deposit, but I suppose it's possible. Because the IRS sends the money. It's Friday, so everyone that has an 846 date for next week, the IRS has already sent notice to the banks that they're going to be transferring this money. So a lot of the banks already know. They might not have the money yet, but they know they're going to be getting it. And that's why some banks will post early, because they know they're getting the money anyway, and they'll make the money available. Other banks wait till the day of, because the IRS dates it for, they'll send a notification in advance saying this amount of money is coming on this to be available for this date. Credit Dave, good idea. If you have a question, place a Q before it so it can be viewed as a question to me. Then I might be able to answer it. It might be easier for me to go through some of these because I am seeing people ask each other questions too, and it's confusing me. Joseph, you're asking if the amount that you're getting for a refund could be why it's taking longer. It depends on how much it is. I do know there used to be a policy in place, and I don't know if the policy still exists, but I know I did an interview with a taxpayer advocate a couple of years ago, and they had a policy in place at the IRS back then that any returns that had a refund of over $10,000 were automatically held for review, and it would take longer for those refunds to get sent out. I don't know if that policy is still in place because there's been so many new credits and stuff that people are getting a lot bigger refunds than they used to get anyway. But I suppose it's certainly a reason if you're getting a large refund that could cause it to take longer. Hey guys, yeah, feel free to leave a like. We're only at 110 likes. We're an hour into this. This live stream. I want to be at 200 likes by the end of the stream. Michael says he's over $10,000 for his refund, so that I'm assuming you have the 846, which means that they didn't hold you a refund. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Sherry, question. The transcripts say NA, but the IRS says it's in the error department. You're sure it's a stimulus. Now what? Now it's a waiting game. If it's in the error department, then your next update, you'll see that 570 code probably on your transcript. And hopefully it's resolved quickly. It does appear that a lot of people with the stimulus problems so far, there's been a lot of people that have had the 570s cleared up within a week, the first couple of weeks. It's only been 2 weeks since last week the first 570s started hitting some transcripts. So it's only been a week, actually. But there was people that had a 570 last week that had a 571 this week. So in the early going, it seems like it's moving quickly. It's a waiting game. It just means you're delayed at least a week. Or as one of our friends in the chat said earlier, they had a 570 code for almost a year. So hopefully that's not the case for you. Wow, $14,000. $29,000. Whoa, that's a big one. Seeing some big refunds here. Well, that's crazy. Wow. Okay, Amber. I have a situation with TurboTax. The bar is full and said my estimated date was the 17th, but my refund will arrive on the 17th. I guess the IRS says it's processing. Yeah, the IRS, the TurboTax refund bar thing is not accurate. You really can't go by that. TurboTax just automatically has like that bar go in place 21 days or around 21 days from when you filed. TurboTax has no idea what's going on internally at the IRS, so they can't tell you when you're getting your refund. They just have an estimate. So that bar that they do is like an estimate of when you would expect it. Without being able to look at your transcripts, there's no way to know for sure. But Amber, you could very well be a part of tonight's update on Where's My Refund. And that processing message could go away tonight, and tomorrow morning you could look and see that there's 2 bars and our deposit date. Without seeing the transcripts, there's no way to know for sure. But see how I can explain this. So say people don't have access to their transcripts, and you do wake up tomorrow, and you check Where's My Refund, and you see that there's 2 bars and a deposit date. That means that if you had been able to look at your transcripts today, you would have seen an 846 refund issue code for the same date. The transcripts always update first, and then Where's My Refund follows the day behind. D, code 860. Is it? Your question is about 860. Are you saying 860 or 806? I just want to verify before I give it, because one is troublesome and one is not very troublesome. 860. Okay. Let's pull up the IRS manual here real quick. Just I'm gonna refresh my memory on some of these codes, guys. Just bear with me. I don't remember if I talked about 860 tonight. So it's a reversal, probably a reversal of one of your credits. I don't know specifically what you claimed on your return, but there's probably something that was claimed that you didn't qualify for, or maybe a stimulus that you already received. So it's a reversal of one of those credits or something that you claimed on your return. Oh, D. Okay, 806. Okay, that's why I was asking, because I want to make sure you didn't type it in the reverse order. So 806, that is your withholding from your W-2. That's actually a credit to your account because that's taxes that you already paid throughout the year. So code 806, nothing to worry about. That's a good code. That's probably, you'll see a negative number there. That's money that you've already paid to the IRS through your paycheck. That's why I wanted to verify that you were saying 806 versus 860, because two totally different things. Keela, no, not necessarily, because you have that, your return is still being processed message. Not necessarily bad. The 152 code, whether it's there or not, doesn't really tell you much. That just means it changes as time goes on, basically. Just means there's been a certain amount of time that your system has been, your return has been in the system. You could very well see an update tonight. As I've said, people, if you can't check your transcript, there's no way to know for sure. So if you can't check your transcript, you're completely at the mercy of knowing whether or not you can get your refund through Where's My Refund. And for most people at this point, like 90% of the filers, they're only going to see the updates on Where's My Refund that one day a week on Saturdays. I know the IRS says that Where's My Refund updates 7 days a week, which is not true. It doesn't update 7 days a week. It updates 5 days a week. But for most people, it only updates 1 day a week. In other words, most tax filers, like 90% of all tax filers, are in weekly batch processing, which means that Saturday update is going to be where the most amount of people see updates on Where's My Refund. Jordan, you have a time deposit date of 2/22, but you haven't gotten your deposit. It's only February 18th. Bear in mind that Monday, the 21st, is a holiday. So even if Chime or other banks' prepaid cards would traditionally post deposits early, due to the holiday on Monday, you might have to wait to the actual day of your deposit because of the holiday. How's the audio level, guys? I haven't checked in a while. Everything sound okay? Good. Thanks, Juggernaut. Armenia, you got a 4464 C letter. That would be for income verification. Unfortunately, when you get those letters, there's not much you can do. That they're comparing everything you reported on your return to what gets reported by your employer. There could be a mismatch on something that was reported, and that could be what caused it and triggered it. The code 971 is a letter issued. It's a letter means a letter is sent explaining something that happened on your transcript, something that is occurring on your tax return. Jay Jackson, are you talking to me that I don't know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I probably don't. I've been covering the IRS for 12 years. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think you're probably right. Monique, I'm glad you've had some anxiety relieved. Glad we can help you out. Going back through the history of the comments, seeing if there's any questions I missed. Guys, feel free to pop in with some more questions too. I'll grab them as I see them. Ashley has a question. The PATH Act was lifted. She filed 127. It never showed bars or that she was even accepted. So when you log into Where's My Refund, it doesn't tell you that it's being processed or anything. If that's the case, you definitely want to be calling the IRS. I mean, that's if you've gotten that far and you haven't gotten even a message that is processing, you want to contact the IRS as soon as possible and get that sorted out. Okay, so we got a few questions here. Okay. Can IRS post updates this Sunday night? Trudy. I'm not sure which updates you're talking about, whether it's transcripts or Where's My Refund, but we're looking for the updates tomorrow for the Where's My Refund and sometime next week for the transcript updates. Shooting 456. How can you call the IRS? All right, let's pull up some. Let's pull up the IRS phone numbers here. 1-800-829-1040 is the basic number, and then you have to go through all the prompts to try to get to a person. Good luck with that. The phone lines are inundated, and they only operate during the normal business hours, Monday through Friday. What you should do, if you want to get in contact, another piece of advice I can give you guys is in most states, there is an IRS office that you can go in person and talk to someone. It depends on the seriousness of your issue, though. If you want to find out where it is in a city near you, you can look that up through the IRS as well. But in a lot of cases, people get feverish. People get like really anxious when they start calling the IRS, and then like it ends up being no problem anyway because they get a refund within a week after they've started calling. So in a lot of cases, I've noticed people get anxious, and there's not too much to be anxious about. Josh's Adventures, can Where's My Refund not be updated to a date and still get a deposit while it says delay in processing? Absolutely it can. Because the Where's My Refund is not the most updated information. So in theory, there's people that were able to check their transcript yesterday that saw the 846 code, and that is the absolute end-all be-all of whether or not someone's getting a refund. So if they have an 846 code of 224, and the Where's My Refund system malfunctions and never updates and never shows anyone anything, those people could still have the delay message. Meanwhile, they're getting the deposit on the 24th, and they know they're getting a deposit on the 24th because the transcript told them. Jennifer, can you get a deposit on a Saturday? Most banks will not post a deposit on Saturday, but every bank's different. But it's not a business day, so. If you're an 05, Corey, transcripts will update once a week on Fridays. Scott Powell, transcript you have a date of the 24th. Awesome. Congratulations. Big crew, 224s. Hey guys, we're at 145 likes. I want to be at 200 by the time I finish this stream. I'm going at least until midnight. Hey Bernie, appreciate the viewership. Thank you. Shooting 456, you filed January 22nd, and it's still being processed. Okay, so I can't tell you for sure why it's taking so long, but I can tell you that you're not the only one, so don't feel like you're alone. There's hopefully going to be a big, massive update on Where's My Refund today, well, tonight into tomorrow. And if it's not that, it's going to be on Sunday morning. So hopefully you're a part of that, and you'll see a refund date. I don't know if you can check your transcripts, but if you can't, look for that Where's My Refund update, and hopefully you're in there. Well, I just saw someone mention the tax advocate hotline. I want to find out what they were saying about that because I have some information I want to talk about on that. Okay, so on the advocate hotline, if you want to go tax advocate, they can only help you after 30 days of your return being on file and no action being done to your return. However, the tax advocates are on, they're like basically understaffed, and they're currently not helping as far as like helping people's individual cases. They're not helping individual cases because they're still working on last year's backlog. So it's kind of a mess with the advocate service. So hopefully they can work through that backlog and start helping people this year, but they will tell you they're not going to help you till after. They're probably at this point, they're going to say they can't help you until after 60 days at this point because they're just so backlogged. Jeremy wants to know how accurate the transcripts are. They are 100% accurate. The transcripts are real-time information on everything that the IRS is doing to your tax account. It's the most up-to-date information there is. They're very accurate. Mommy and me, I called the tax advocate number and got someone quick. That's good. I don't know if they actually assigned someone to your case though. You would know that. And like I said, they're understaffed, so even if they did, it's still going to take a while to get help. If you can't see, Zachary, if you can't see your transcript for 2021, it has not been fully processed yet. When your return goes into its final stage of processing, those NAs will disappear and you'll see the transcript available, and that's when you can look at all your codes. Juggernaut, when you go from 570 to 571, do you have to wait for the next 846? No, as soon as the 571 appears, if you typically, as long as it's before the next update, it will all update the same week. So, like you would see when you get the 571 code, you would see the 846 code after it. So the 571 and the 846 would hit the same day. Paul called the IRS 3 days ago and knew more than the lady did. Guys, I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you. The people that you talk to on the phone at the IRS, first off, they have a script that they have to stick to, but a lot of them don't know the system very well. And a lot of them are actually newer anyway because they're so short on help. They've hired a bunch of new people, and so they don't know that much. So there is a good chance that a lot of you will know more than they are because a lot of us have been like looking at this stuff over the past few years, so we know how the system works even better than the people at the IRS do. Laurie Morales, should I be worried today if I updated without an NA, with an NA, from the NA without an 846 code? Could there be issues? If there was definitely issues, it would have posted it. You would have seen the trouble codes on your transcript today. So if you updated from the NA and there was no 846 code, but there was no other codes, that just means you missed the cutoff for this week's batch update. I was estimating around February 11th or 12th. Anyone that was accepted before February 11th or 12th, if you were accepted before then and you got an update, then that would be you'd see the newest codes. If you were accepted after them and you went from NA to an update, but you didn't see any like the 846 codes, then you'd be in the next update after that. You also could have been accepted before then, and they just didn't finish processing yet. But if there's no other codes, there's nothing to be worried about yet. And I'd be looking for the update next week. If you don't have any codes, it's just not finished yet. Juan, the 571 date later than the 846. Yep, don't worry about those dates after that. That's all post-dated actions. That was a deadline to complete the release. And obviously, if you have the 846, the release was already completed. So those late dates are deadlines that the system sets for itself to complete the next action for whatever it's related to. So say the 571 was dated for March 7th. That means the system's telling itself it needs to complete the release of those funds by March 7th. And then the next line, you see the 846 with like a 224. Well, obviously, it's released those funds before March 7th. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah, people get tied up in those. They see those late dates. Don't worry too much about them. Same thing with the 415 date, guys. You see on the transcript, you might see a processing date of 415 or whatever. That just means that's the close of the tax cycle. That's universal. That 415 date, that's the end of the tax season. Ashley Brunson. No bars, no transcript updates, and no acknowledgement of existence. Where is your money? Hey, we see you. We know you exist. We're here for you. That's what we're here for. Let people vent. This can be a very frustrating, very, very frustrating time of year. Still working my way through some of these older comments, guys. That's why if you think I'm missing your questions, I'm trying to work my way through some of these older questions to see anything I might have missed. Ashley Brunson, why are my questions getting lost? I just answered one of yours, actually, so hopefully that caught up in the stream. Marquise. My transcript posted, but I have a 570 and 971 code. They adjusted the tax return for the stimulus check. Sounds about right. So hopefully they give you that 571 release code by next week. If it was already adjusted, then it should be within a week that you'll see. If it was already adjusted and you see the amounts already adjusted and reflected in your transcript, it should be within a week that you get the release code and the 846 date. Juan, thank you so much. DS. My transcript will only go from NA to something on Fridays or from NA to showing the direct deposit date on Fridays. Hope this makes sense. Yes. So at this point of the cycle, if you're still NA, I'm assuming this is the assumption is at this point that if you're still NA at this point, you're in 05 cycle code, meaning if you were to see your cycle code, it's 2022, 0705, 0805, 0905, whatever the cycle code would be, would end in 05. That's only going to update on Fridays. And the longer you go with seeing an NA on transcripts, the more likely it is that your cycle code is an 05 and they're only going to update on Fridays. Nay Rose, nice to have people to talk to. That's the whole reason I'm doing these streams, because everybody's in the same boat. And speaking of doing the stream, we are at 165 likes, yet we have 212 people watching this live stream. We got to fix that. We have at least 28 minutes to go in the stream. I may go longer. I want to see 200 likes. Guys, I need to have 200 likes on this stream. I need to have it. Christopher Broad really hopes we see an update tomorrow. Not going to lie. I'm right there with you. There will be, hopefully, Coco, there is going to be updates tonight on Where's My Refund. We're thinking the big batch update is going to be tonight. So tomorrow morning, people will see an update. That's the whole purpose of doing this stream. The first massive transcript update was Friday. And typically the Friday transcript updates lead to the Where's My Refund update on Saturday mornings. The only thing that could throw a wrinkle in that timing is the fact that Monday is a holiday. So there is a possibility that instead of updating on Saturday morning, it could update on Sunday morning. But I figured we'd do the stream tonight because I'm pretty sure it's going to update on Saturday morning. Juan wants to know about state taxes. Every state is different, so I can't give you any specific information about state taxes, honestly. Most states now have an online portal that you can log into and see your status. So that's the best I can say is go to your state's Department of Revenue. If you don't have an online account with them, set one up. I don't know if you guys noticed the paintings in my background today. I updated the paintings from yesterday. I mentioned in the stream yesterday that I'm going through and I'm painting every Bob Ross painting he did on TV. I'm eventually going to be selling them and using the money to fund a scholarship in honor of my best friend Sarah, who passed away last year. She was a singer, had the voice of an angel. And the money is going to be going to the students of the arts and hopefully make people's dreams come true. That's what I plan on doing with it. I've painted about getting close to 50 or so Bob Ross paintings so far. So still got a few hundred to go. Laurie, what does it mean if there is a 0 on the 150 code? Then there's been no action on the processing of your return yet, so it's not fully processed yet. There'll be a number when all the calculations are done in the system. There should be a number on there. It would be the tax for the year that would show up on that line. I lost my music, sorry guys. Here we go. Hey, everyone in the chat, if you have an 846, Melissa Carter wants to know if you have an 846, have you seen a pending deposit yet? I'm going to guess no. Well, maybe some people have, but you're probably going to get a whole lot of no's on that one. Code 150 means your tax return is on file in the system. Tax topic 152. All that is a generic information about refund timing, refund methods. Doesn't give you any specific information about your return exactly. It's a generic message. The codes we're talking about in the transcripts are under the account transcript, and they're in the transaction list. That's at the bottom of the transcript. And there'll be a bunch of codes, and those are the codes we're talking about. Who, or WHO, or wants to play some 90s music while we wait to make it a 90s party. Unfortunately, I have to use royalty-free music because I don't want to get flagged. Hey guys, we're getting up there. We're at 185 likes. We're getting close to that 200 number. Guys, help me out. I need to get to 200 likes by the end of the stream. DV, you still have an NA. You're not going to get a WM update tonight. Sorry. So you'll have at least a week. At least a week. Hopefully you see one next week. Keith with the 846 for 224. All right, Club 224. Congratulations. Josh's Adventures. Would the IRS audit us if last year we got $4,000 and this year we get $11,000 back? Will they audit even if we claim CTC? No, they're not going to audit you just because of what you got back. They're going to audit you if something you reported to them is inaccurate and based on what other jobs or 1099s were reported to them. So you don't get audited because of the refund you're getting back, or the necessarily the credits you're getting claimed. You're getting audited because of discrepancies in what you're reporting. So as long as you reported everything accurately, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. Josh, I hope that Josh's Adventures. I hope that answers your question about that. Mary Tillman, can you still see an update tonight if your transcripts are NA and you filed on 2/4? Yeah, if your transcripts are still NA, you're not going to see an update tonight. You would be looking for that next batch update, hopefully next week for you.
Every business is on a journey, and along the ride, you'll find many challenges. Your Dell Technologies advisor can help you find the right tech solutions.
Randy Williams filed 2021 taxes January 27th. The PATH Act was lifted, and it says being processed, and there's no bars. So hopefully, with any luck, you'll see an update tomorrow morning. Like I said, for a lot of these situations, if we don't know what's going on with your transcript, we don't know for sure if you're going to get the 846 code. So you just basically have to cross your fingers and hope you're part of this update tonight or tomorrow, depending on if the holiday is throwing it off a day. Juan, is there a code for refund approved, or is that 846? That is the 846 code. As long as you have the 846 code on your transcript, you have nothing to worry about. You're all set. Okay, Amber says, please read mine. So let me go back and find Amber here. If there's any question from Amber I missed. Amber. I see you, Amber. I'm looking. Did I really miss it this far back? Okay, Amber, you're going to have to ask your question again. I'm not seeing it. Lady Shay says they reduced her child credit. Bummer. Sleepy Vibes says this is the only page they listen to. Well, I appreciate that. Bob Ross Vibes. Totally. Dr. Carr says, nice painting. Sorry for my loss. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've had a lot of loss the past couple of years. My best friend Sarah died in December of 2020. My mom died this past December 2021. So it's been a tough 2 years. Randy, my paintings are beautiful. Thank you so much. Nay Rose, thank you as well. Frank Stewart, don't worry too much about the missing bars. They will come back eventually. We hope. Hopefully they come back tomorrow. Rennigan, am I saying that right? Rennigan JJ says the paintings are fire. Thank you very much. I think every time I live stream, I'm going to put some of the new other paintings up so you guys can see them. When will you see? Melissa Carter wants to know, when will you see an 846 pending deposit for an 846 from last night? It's going to be sometime next week, probably. Okay. Question. I have finally received my transcript last night, a little bit after midnight while I was at work. Is there a possibility I could be part of this new batch of refund deposits? I can't say that because I don't know what, was there an 846 on your transcript? If there was an 846, then you would definitely be a part of the new batch of deposits. If there was no 846 on your transcript, then you will have to wait. But also, it could have updated. If you got it after midnight, it still could have updated later in the day today. So you would have to actually check it later. You would have to check it again to know for sure. And if you saw that 846 code, then you would know you would be part of the batch update for tonight with the deposit dates.
It's a commitment that we're going to do everything to make sure our players are safer and that we actually need an intervention.
Okay, Observe Self says NA on transcripts of pending turbo. Yeah, NA on transcripts it means your return's not finished processing yet. And turbo just has generic stuff they post on their end. They have no connection to what's going on at the IRS.
You see progress.
Nay Rose, if the IRS did the adjustment and the amount is different, then obviously whatever calculations they did, that's why it was reduced. And if it was already made, the adjustment was already made, and you have the 570 code, but there's no release code on it yet, then you're not going to get the deposit this week. But if it was already adjusted, hopefully you'll have the 571 release code next week with an 846. And that would give you a deposit date of a week from Wednesday, probably. So hopefully that's going to put you in good shape for, not good shape for getting something this week, but next week. Why can't our refund be on Warp 9? Tell me about it. Adapa? Someone help me. I filed January 24th. Was accepted the same day. It's saying processing, but now it says it exceeded my attempts for the day. You'll have to wait 24 hours and try to log in again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow when you check, there'll be an update and you'll see a deposit date. I really feel like at this point, guys, I'm not even... Hey, guys, I just noticed it. We got over 200 likes. All right. I feel like at this point, I'm not even... I've been answering a lot of the same questions, so I'm just trying to console you guys. I'm only trying to comfort you guys now and give you guys some reassurance. How long before you send additional documents in does it take to process? Ooh, so if they've requested additional documents, it can take a while if you had to mail them in. Um, they say to allow 60 days in between each process. It can be a lengthy process if you had to send more information. So I hope for your sake it moves along quickly. Amber, on Where's My Refund? It says where the exact amount should be. Tax ending date 12/30/31/21. There's no refund amount. What does that mean? So when the message changes, the refund amount eventually just disappears. So the next time you would see it come back is when you get the bars back with a refund date. So don't read too much into that. These message changes and the amounts disappearing on Where's My Refund. These are automatic system occurrences that happen after any length of time that your return has been in the system and it hasn't completed the processing yet. I mean, when that stuff happens and that stuff disappears, what it basically tells you is something that you've already known, and that's that you've been waiting a while for it to process. The only way to actually derive what is going on with your taxes in real time is by checking your transcript. So unfortunately, if you can't get into the transcript, excuse me, guys, I'm getting tired. If you can't get into the transcript system and see what's going on in the transcripts, then you'll have no way to know for sure where you stand until that Where's My Refund updates. Yes. Who says I've gotten my deposit in the past without a Where's My Refund update? That is true. I said that earlier that like even last year. So last year I got my deposit based on when the transcript told me I was going to get it, but my Where's My Refund never updated. I actually made a video about that last year, that Where's My Refund was broken. It wasn't updating for people. 3 months later, I still had 1 bar on Where's My Refund, and I had already gotten my deposit. So it never updated for me until like well after. It eventually did update, but it was like 3 months after I got my refund. Carly wants to know if the codes are in order. On your transcript, yes. They're in the order of the actions performed on your account. So everything that is on the transcript is the order that they've performed those actions. What is the meaning of WMR? That stands for Where's My Refund? Who says I wish I could just get my transcript. I want to know something, even if it's a lie. Hey, if you just want to know something, and even if it's just a lie, there's a video on my channel, and I'm going to put the link to it in my. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm going through this my studio here, and I'm going to put a link to a video that you can see if you want some reassurance. Copy the video link. I'm going to post a link in the chat right now after the stream if you want some reassurance and you want some information, even if it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. If you just need to hear something, you can check that video out. Paul, Top Notch Fishing. For myself, I do not even use Where's My Refund, only transcripts. That's a good code to go by because the transcript is the most accurate. Carly Love says there is a 570 code and a 571 code. That is good news. Is the 571 code have an 846 after? If not, you should get it next week. Yeah, you're basically waiting on Catherine G. Catherine G, you're waiting for your bank to release the refund. So when they make that available to you is totally up to them. They get the money whenever they get it, or they get the notification from the IRS. Those notifications started going out today, by the way. So they know they're getting the money. It's up to them when they want to make it available to you. Jamaica Sanders, is the IRS, if the IRS sends you a letter, how long does it take to get it? And is it standard mail or first class? It's standard mail. It can take a while to get. Sometimes, if I'm going to be honest, there's been times on my transcript I've seen a letter, like a notice issued code, and I never even got a notice. And in the meantime, already got the refund. So just because the transcript says they sent you a letter, it depends on what it's accompanied by, whether or not you actually get that letter. If it's a 570 code, you'll get a generic letter stating that your return is being reviewed for some reason. They won't even tell you why in some cases, and that to give them 60 days to review it. But it takes a while for the letter to come to you. It takes a couple weeks. Rodney, if SB, Santa Barbara Tax Products Group, hasn't received their funds yet, does that mean you haven't updated to the 846 code? Not necessarily. They won't post that they've received it until the day of that deposit date. They do the same day deposit. Deshandra, 86, I have a direct deposit date of 2/24, and you have Chime. When should you see it? The earliest you would see it with Chime, I know sometimes they do early deposits. So if they're going to do the early deposit for your refund, the earliest you would see it would be Tuesday. But don't count on it Tuesday. That just would be the earliest you could possibly see it. Remember, Monday is a holiday. Otherwise, I'd say you could expect it sooner, but the Monday holiday is throwing everything off. Observe self. If it says not filed in on the transcript, does it mean that I'm not really just in a queue? That's exactly what it means. You're in that holding period waiting. Hey, Claudina, welcome back. Kevin Durant, no update at 12. The update would be after 3 a.m. Tommy McGraw. IRS form says if transcript has a processing date, you will still get a direct deposit date if there's no 846. Is that possible? 100% impossible. There is no deposit. There is no refund coming to you if there is no 846. There has to be an 846 on the transcript. Otherwise, you'll be waiting forever if you're going to be counting on that information. There has to be an 846 for the refund to be coming. As I said, I can't stress this enough, guys. The transcript is the most current, up-to-date information of what the IRS is doing to your account. I just saw someone, I don't know who it was, I just saw someone I passed by, I accidentally scrolled too far, but it said they were waiting on their 2020 refund. You're not alone. There's literally 3 million returns that are still waiting to be processed from last year, 2020. So you are not alone. Last line of my transcript says 846, refund issued 2/24/22. But where's my refund says still processing. Don't worry about that. Where's my refund is always behind the transcripts. So you're going to see an update. you should see an update on Where's My Refund in this next big batch update. Don't be concerned with that. As long as you have that 846 code on your transcript, you're all set. At this point, the Where's My Refund is just going to give you the reassurance. But you're like, if you have, I'm guaranteeing you guys, if you have the 846 code, I promise you, you're getting your deposit date on that. You're getting your deposit for that date. Don't worry about the refund. The Where's My Refund still saying processing. That's gonna update eventually as well. Oh, Kevin Durant, can you receive a direct deposit at 12? If you're referring to 12 tonight, then probably not, because it's a Saturday now. It would be a Saturday, so they don't. A lot of times they won't post deposits on a weekend. Philly Boy, Real Talk Videos. How do you end up in the queue? You end up getting stuck in the queue when there's just way too many returns for the system to handle all at once. And it just kind of like resequences everything. It's a very unfortunate event that happens to a lot of tax filers every year. Mama and 6, miscalculation of STEMI checks will automatically get adjusted. They remove that incorrect amount, or could they be added to it? They will automatically correct it if they notice what you reported is not matching what they have in file. They will automatically correct it. You'll see it reflected on the transcript with a 570 freeze code. You'll see the adjustment code and then a 571 release with the new refund amount. If I was filed and accepted on the 1st, is there a chance I'm in the first batch? Yeah, there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. Steven, doesn't it start update, or Stefan, I don't know how you pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Doesn't it start updates at 12 Eastern time? No, 3 a.m. Eastern time is when the first updates begin. Tiki God wants to know if I have an 846 code with a date of 224, will there be an early deposit with U.S. Bank? I don't know how U.S. Bank posts deposits, if they do early deposit or not. So plan on the 24th. If they do early deposit, you might see it Tuesday or Wednesday, but Shamika, do I know anything about the 570 code? It's a freeze code. It means they're reviewing your return for some reason. There's also videos on my channel about it, if you want to go more into depth about it. I'm not going to go too far in depth about the code on the live stream, but it's a freeze code. So something on the return, if you have it, is that means it needs an actual person to look at and adjust, perhaps adjust. $768 code, earned income credit. Cassandra, it's a credit code. It's a positive code. It's going to be a negative dollar amount on your transcript, but it's positive for you. It's a credit to your account. Excuse me 1 second, guys. All right, so, well, we've gone past, we're at midnight, 2 hours in the stream. We hit 230 likes. We now have a like count basically matching the amount of people that are in the chat. Carly Love, 570 code, and it's 571 right after. That's good news. That's a quick resolution. Robert Cannon, Credit Karma says you can get it 5 days early. If I got a deposit for the 24th, will I get it this weekend? No. Credit Karma only posts deposits on business days. I can tell you that for sure. I know that for sure. The Credit Karma only posts on business days. So if they do post early, the earliest you would see it would be Tuesday, the 22nd. James Price, the updates start around 3 a.m. That's when the system starts updating. Wells Fargo, I have Juan. I have no idea when Wells Fargo operates as far as posting deposits. I'm almost certain they're probably going to be a same day bank, meaning that the whatever deposit is on your transcript, that's going to be the day that Wells Fargo posts that deposit. Where's My Refund says processing transcripts. NA transcripts say NA. What does that mean? That means that your return is not done processing yet. When your return is in the final stage of processing, that NA will go away and you'll have access to all 4 sections on that transcript for 2021. Account transcript, return transcript, record of account transcript, wage and income transcript. Once all that information is populated, then you'll know you're in the final stage of processing or perhaps even complete. Enrique, will 768 be added to your refund amount? It's a part of your refund. So the refund you see when you get the 846 code, that credit was a part of that refund. So what happens is you have a tax due based on your income for the year. They subtract whatever was withheld from your paychecks throughout the year, gets subtracted from that tax due. Then the credits you get, child tax credit, earned income credit, stimulus payments if you were owed a stimulus payment, all that stuff gets subtracted from that as well. That gives you a negative amount, and that negative amount is the refund that you get. So all those credits are a part of the refund you get. Yes, if you have an 846 on your transcript, you're good to go, guys. Don't worry about it. Even if Where's My Refund wasn't to update for you, you know you're going to get the direct deposit by the 24th. But we're expecting a big Where's My Refund update tonight or early tomorrow morning. That's why we're doing the live stream tonight. Giving you guys a chance to ask questions and vent your frustrations, and just trying to be here for you guys. Paul, Top Notch Fishing is correct. IRS is off Monday. It's a holiday, so the earliest deposits will post on Tuesday. Yeah, the Monday holiday has really messed things up for it. Everyone with the 224 update deposit date. We traditionally would have had it for 223 on Wednesday, but they have pushed everything back a day because of the Monday holiday. So we have to wait an extra day longer than we normally would. Tommy, you got accepted on the 24th. You processed the 14th. You have all the codes are good, but no 846 yet. Is it normal? For some people it is. Sometimes it just takes longer. Hopefully you see a update by Friday, next Friday. Hey, what's everybody doing? I asked this last night, but what's everyone doing with their refunds? We're going on a family vacation. Should I make a prediction? We're going to see paying bills, buying cars, maybe vacations. Moving. Tommy's moving. Mommy me. Someone got there about a Buick. Someone bought a Buick with 209,000 miles and the whole back end dented in. Good deal. Slim, do I have to pay you money to answer me? Oh, I've answered this question a couple times. No bars since you were accepted, and it's February 5th. Now it says return, again accepted, and is being processed. Yeah, you can't read too much into those where's my refund messages. I mean, you could very well see an update in the morning update on Saturday morning, so don't read too much into the message you see right now. Really, I can't answer that specific question about when you would actually get any update unless you have a transcript. I can give you a better idea if you had access to your transcript. Are you saying you were accepted on February 15th? I mean, that's only 4 days ago, so you might have to wait. You would actually probably have to wait at least a week. I'm not sure if that's the question. If you were saying you were the message started the 15th or you were accepted on the 15th. Oh, hey now, who? Saving money, good idea. Always a good idea. You owe your landlord $24,000. This must be COVID stuff, getting behind on rent. I'm assuming a lot of people had that problem. James hit 19 months sober, leaving the sober living house. Keep doing what you're doing, then. Congratulations. It's hard work. YouTube Diaries heading out. See you later. Have a good night. Investing. And going to the casino. All right, that works. 766 code, guys, is typically used for child tax credit. It's another credit code. Deshandra, that's a credit code. It's a good code. Don't worry about it. Jamaica Sanders is paying bills. Eduardo, will paper give back take longer? I'm assuming you're saying paper check or a paper file. Either way, it's going to be a little bit longer. A little bit longer than traditional deposit or a little bit longer than a traditional e-file, depending on which one your question you're asking. But either way, yes, it's going to take a little bit longer. Yes, Desandra, the 766 and 768 negative amounts, that's good. Those are credits. The IRS uses negative amounts for credits on your account on the transcript. Those are good things for you. Paul, top-notch fishing, saving for a log cabin. All right. Meditation and relaxation. You're seeing people on Facebook groups get their refund with a transcript saying NA? Then they're lying. I'm telling you, they're not getting their refund with an NA. Or they're misunderstanding what they're looking at because the transcript is the up-to-date information. You're not getting a refund without an 846 code on a transcript. So they're either being dishonest about it or they're misunderstanding what they're looking at. Anthony Scott, 570 is a hold code. That means your refund is being held for some reason. So that means someone is manually reviewing your return. The 971 is a notice issued. Basically, it's a letter saying that your refund is being held for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a 30-day review letter. Sometimes it's a 60-day review letter. Sometimes it doesn't take that long. There's been many cases we've seen in the chat tonight that it was like a pretty quick release. So it may not be too much to worry about, but if that's the only code you see and there's no 846 after that, then it's going to be at least another week before you see another update. All right, the 150. Well, let's discuss 150. Code 150 on the transcript means your tax return is on file, and the 806 code is the withholding. That is the taxes you paid on your paychecks throughout the year from your W-2s. So every time you had federal tax taken out, all that federal tax that was taken out, that's that 806 code. Isaiah, the 222 deposit date is probably not going to come early because Monday is a holiday. So that's going to be the deposit date for 222. So that's Tuesday. That's when you're going to see the money because of the Monday holiday. That is, if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it till Tuesday. Unless you're Christopher, apparently. He says his deposit just hit at PNC Bank. That's interesting. All right, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night. So I hope everyone sees an update on Where's My Refund in the morning. If not, we'll be waiting for another week, and we'll do another stream, I guess, if we have to, so we can be there for everyone still waiting. So thanks everyone for tuning in. And if there is a Where's My Refund update in the morning, I'll do another update video and post it to let everyone know what's going on with that. Okay? Have a good night, everyone.